Breakfast on the go. Chocolate oats. There's that 81% dark chocolate you can get. Bung a couple cubes of that in. A couple spoonfuls of sugar. Pretty damn good. Not slightly smoky. Well, winter is finally here, but I've got my fireplace, so it's just keeping me nice and warm. It's really cold this morning. Pretty tasty. So I'm still going to carry on today insulating this place. Once all the walls are done, I'm not going to insulate the roof just yet. I mean, it's a really big job, and I want to get this place so it's actually functional. Like I've got a bed in here, a little kitchen area, the worktop, and maybe a little sink for hand washing. Get all that put in, and then I can actually do some work in here. And last night when I was sat in here, I did a bit of spoon carving. It's not finished, but it's just the outline. It's really wonky, but I like wonky things. Because my new toy is a crook knife or a hook knife, whatever you want to call it. It's from Mora Knife, Swedish. Pretty good bit of kit. And then I've got the opinel for fine carving, and this sort of old school cleaver for taking down the big bits. This thing is awesome. Works like a little hatchet, but I think it's better. And you've got a really long cutting blade, and it's easy to split with. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, when I leave I might ask Malcolm if I can buy it off him, because I would get infinite use out of this. This is my favourite tool. But it's my carving set. Works really well. I can take off the big bits really quickly. That's for your fine carving, and this is for hooking out the spoon. So, chuffed. Like I say, today I'll just be doing insulation. Yeah, just insulating the place because it's getting really cold. It's a priority. Ciao. Well, the storm hit last night, and my tarp wasn't very good. Loads of water started dripping in, so I fixed it in the middle of the night. I'm very tired now. Everything's a bit wet in here because it's still, the rain came down. Well, not everything, that side is wet. But look what else happened during the night. Gale force wind kicked off a bit. My other camp setup is completely wrecked. It's just been basically utterly destroyed. So I'm going to take all this down, and I'm not doing it in the wind. I can't be bothered, it's too much like hard work fanning around with sails in the wind. So I'm just going to take it all apart and put it all in the caravan and wait for a nice fair day, and I might put it back up again. But anyway, what a pain. The trials and tribulations of the wind is howling today. It really giving it beans. What is it, Ferris? Can you resist? What is it, Ferris? Oh, can you resist, Ferris? Come on. Come on, Ferris. Come on. Good, Ferris. Go on then. Go on. Oh, Ferris. Oh, I've had enough of taunting him for one day. It'll be a bit of Cumberland sausage. The light is killing it. Right, it's about 9 AM. It's 2 degrees outside. And I'm just warming up before a day's work. Or a cracking fire. Absolute monster. Today I'm going to, I fitted the window there, that one. I've got a bloody curtain over the door to cut down on some of the draft. It was pretty warm in here last night. This bit here, all along the eaves, I'm just going to do infills between those. And then I'm going to hopefully fire harden some pallet timber. And use fire hardened pallet timber as roof tiles, shingles. So yeah, it's really cold outside. It's about 2 degrees. So you know it's pretty cold for England. Other countries, you know, they get to -20. So this is like a hot day. But for me, this is chilly. So I've got a nice fire going. Ciao. Alright, so this is a job today. Got to nail this piece down here onto there, and then these bits will sit like that, and so the rain will come off here, drip down there, and then I'll have a capping piece right the way along the top and a front down stand on there, and this will extend all the way to the end over to there. But I've got to put this new piece in so I actually get this nice angle on here. You see what I mean? I'll take that away. You get that, which is rubbish. I don't want that. Water will just drip through. But with this extra angle, it should drain off quite nicely. So the next job is just to nail this big piece down. I found a few bits of scrap square timber. Nail those down and then cut a lot of these to length. They're all going to be 60 centimeters. Then light a fire and start fire hardening. And if fire hardening doesn't work, I'll just cover them in Ronseal and do it that way. Game on. Oh, and just like making toast. It's working. Wish I had 3 hands. I'll leave them to cool down. I'll do the ends in a minute. Oh, I think this is very successful. Excellent. So here is half of one. I mean, it smells really nice. Even if it doesn't work, I can still paint them as well, you know, give them a coat of Ronseal. So I'm not really that bothered. It's just I think it'll look really nice as well. Blackened, charred up wood. Rock and roll. So I've got there fire hardening and then putting it up on the roof. The art of temperance. So there's the first 5 boards up. Now I've just got silicone in between. It should be fairly straightforward. Just get it on a line. Back the finger up. Just smear it into the groove. There we go. It's actually a bit cracked in places. I like doing it with one hand basically. That's the idea. That'll weather in over time. You won't even notice it. It's spot on. Right, I'm gonna get busy doing this. There's 2 I've started. I've got another 10 already up over there. Already on the roof. But hunger pangs took over. So it's baking them over time. The fire's a bit weak, but they will cook eventually. Just got to be patient. This process is actually taking longer than I expected. Got about an hour and a half's worth of light left. I've been doing this about 2 hours, and I've done just over 10 boards. Well, there's 10 on the roof, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more here. So that should take me to halfway. So it's about 20 boards for halfway. Got another 10 down there, so I'll have to saw up another 10 in a minute. It just takes longer than I thought. But on the plus side, it's working. And here comes Ferris. Alright, Ferris? Yeah, mate. Wow. Last few bits. Oh, man. Oh, I didn't do much. But it's getting there. It's been quite a slow process, this. It's working. There's another one. These are the last few I've got to do. Let me show you what it looks like. It's a bit rough looking. Oh god, I almost fell on my arms then. We're dismantling a boat over the river. And the sun's setting. There it is, a finished product. Now hopefully this keeps the rain out. If not, I can either do horizontal boards over the top of that, or I can do vertical boards in between the little gaps. I'm not really sure, but there's a couple of opportunities. I didn't realise how wonky the roof was until I started putting them on. It's like this nice wavy pattern to it. But anyway, just got to build the chimney up a bit now to make it look regular and make it work properly. And yeah, a few bits and pieces, put mud on the roof, cover the roof in mud, put grass seed over it, get that to grow, and it'll be looking amazing. Now I'm tired, and I've got slightly mucky hands from that, but hopefully they should work. Here's the finished front face of the slate. I think it's quite effective. Here we have it. Basically pretty much finished, apart from I've got to go up a little bit more with the chimney. Check it out. A leaf litter roof with fire hardened pallet timber flashing. Absolutely buzzing. I think it looks freaking awesome. I'll climb over the fence. Little fire going in there. Oh, it's my birthday today as well. Get the other angle. Post that away. Proper awesome. These are tales from the Spamyard. This is the first tale from the Spamyard when I haven't been a little bit drunk. So we'll see how it goes. Now tonight I have stew in there, just keeping warm by the fire so the meat goes really soft. Just gets slow cooked at about 60 degrees. It's already been cooked through. It's just slow cooking. I'll leave that on there for about another hour and a half, just by the fire. As you can see, it was steaming. Well, it'll be lovely in a minute. Anyway, today's tale from the Spamyard.
Today's tale from the Spamyard is about a man called Niels, who comes from Scandinavia. And this chap lived in a village in the mountains. And every year he'd walk through the mountains to get to the coast to go fishing. So it's springtime, he's setting off. He's got his mule packed up with all his gear. And he's going to walk through the mountains just after the snows have melted. And so he's got all his gear packed up. He's got some fish left over, some dried fish from last year, which he's all packed up with, and some other provisions, some salt beef and all sorts. And so he sets off. He gets up into the mountains, and there's this horrendous storm, and he has to take refuge in a cave. So he gets in this cave, and while he's in the cave, he hears a baby crying. And he's thinking, oh no, there's no humans live up here. It must be an ogre, or an ogre giant. So he thinks, oh man, I don't want the mother ogre to come and eat me, because if the baby's hungry, she'll just disembowel me and eat me. So he gets some butter and some bread, butters the bread, he gets some mackerel, some salted mackerel, puts some butter on the mackerel, puts a bit of salt beef in there, parcels it up in a bit of greaseproof paper or whatnot, ties a piece of string round it, and throws it to the back of the cave. And then he hears, and the baby stops crying, and he thinks, oh, ideal. And so he gets into the corner, with the mule, and beds down for a night's sleep. When he wakes up in the morning, he finds a fishing hook, a treble hook, and it's really well wrought. You can see it's the finest workmanship's gone into this fishing hook. He's thinking, where did that come from? So he picks it up, puts it in his pack, and carries on his merry way. He gets to the coast, and his boat's been ransacked by all the other sailors, because they're locals. They think, we'll do one over on this guy. Every year it happens. They put holes in his boat, so he has to get tar and patch up his boat, whilst all the other fishermen are off fishing. They've got a 2-week head start on him, because he's been there patching his boat up with all the holes. Anyway, eventually he patches his boat up, goes out fishing. Now he's not doing very well, and he's totally forgot about his fishing hook, the magical fishing hook. And he's not doing too well, he's catching a few fish and he's a bit gutted. And so he's there by his fire one night, rummaging through his pack, and he pricks his finger on this fishing hook and goes, I forgot about you. And he thinks, right, tomorrow I'm going to try out this hook, see how it works, because it's a really nice, well-fashioned fishing hook. So he baits it up the next day, goes out on his boat, first cast, boom, massive big cod, brings it in. He's like, what? First cast, he's caught the biggest cod he's ever caught in his life. Baits it up again, boom, next fish, massive fish. Within a few hours, he's filled his boat. He's got to go back to sea, go back to the land, where he guts all his fish and then starts smoking them, because he's caught enough fish for a whole day or more. He's totally filled his boat. So he smokes all his fish, gets them packed in barrels, goes back out the next day, has another epic day's worth of fishing. And after a few weeks of this, all the local guys are like, who is this guy? Like, what's your trick? And he's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Just having a good bit of luck. Must have found a good sandbar, a good reef or something out there, And they don't know what to say, to be honest. They're just like, what a jammy git. Anyway, he barrels up all his fish. He sells some, gets some money together, buys 2 more mules, and he's coming back. Each mule's got 3 barrels of fish, so he's got 9 barrels of fish to carry back over the mountains to his tribe. So he's loving it, and he thinks, right, I'll go out for one more, see if I can earn some extra money. And it's his last day of fishing, and he drops his hook down, dink, his line snaps and he loses the hook, and he's like, oh no, gutted. Anyway, so he thinks, right, that's the end of that. I'm packing up and going home. So he takes his 3 mules, his sack of gold, and all his fish, and walks back over the mountains. And again, he's going back over the mountains. There's this horrendous storm. So he has to go into this cave again. And this time there's not a baby crying, but the ogre giant comes out and says, you there, I remember you. Did you like that fishing hook I gave you? And he said, yeah, it worked wonders. It was brilliant. And she goes, right, well, you can give me a barrel of those fish, can't you? He's like, no problem at all. And so he gives the ogre giant a big barrel of fish, and the little baby ogre comes out and thanks him and says, oh, thank you, kind sir, you know, you've done us all a great favour. He's like, no problem, you know, you gave me the hook, so I'll repay my debts. And then so the next day the storm breaks, he carries on back to his village, and he's the talk of the town. He's come home with 3 new horses and 8 barrels of fish. And he's the man. And that was the story of Niels. Don't give to receive, but just give, and you may receive. Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year.